KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson Navigation, serving Guam and Micronesia for 20 years. The all-new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Coming up on your primetime news, 2 people are hurt after a 2-car collision down in Sumai. Also tonight, more special sessions as the administration and legislature battle it out to find money for your government. And talks over the military buildup pressed on at the Guam Industry Forum. Half a day, everybody. Happy best tomorrow and good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in as we begin our newscast with alarming news as 2 people were rushed to the hospital this afternoon after a 2-car collision down in Sumai. It happened here, as you can see on your TV screen, near the Pizza Hut. Traffic had to be rerouted as emergency responders were on the scene, with GFD's Kevin Riley saying one of the individuals had to be extricated from one of the vehicles. Police spokesman Paul Tapao, meanwhile, says his agency is conducting an investigation into the matter.
Still no ID on the man hit by a car early Wednesday morning. An autopsy performed today ruled the pedestrian died from a broken neck, lacerated spleen, and a lacerated abdominal aorta. The incident occurred around 5 o'clock in the morning along Marine Corps Drive near the Guam Home Center in Dededo. The driver of a RAV4 was reportedly heading north in the outer lane when he struck the pedestrian who was also walking on the outer lane. According to Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Aurelio Espinola, the man appears to be in his 50s.
Well, in political headlines, session after session, after session, after session. Well, we haven't got that much time, but at special session, lucky number 7 today, senators met to discuss Bill 1. It would implement a 32-hour work week.
This after the governor's last measure was defeated. Carmen Terlahi has more.
In the back and forth between the administration and the legislature, Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio reiterates the message from the Gov's office to senators: pass a bill to increase taxes or else.
And we're asking the legislatures to stop hurting the people of Guam. The people are anxious, they're nervous, they're worried, and we don't want them to be that way.
In special session number 7, Senator Tom Matta, the majority leader, moved to refer Bill 17S to committee so that the public can provide input. The bill would allow the governor to implement a 32-hour work week and provide 30 days written notice to employees being furloughed or laid off.
But I think what's missing is the importance of giving an opportunity to those employees that will be affected by this furlough. And as a result of that, I think it's imperative that a public hearing on the bill be conducted.
That motion passed. Meantime, Governor Calvo, in a special address, says decisions rest, quote, solely in the hands of the legislature. The Department of Administration was just able to make payroll this week, end quote, emphasizing that if no bill passes, he might be forced to implement payless paydays and even a GovGuam shutdown.
We don't have the revenue stream to be able to match the level of salaries that we have right now. And if we don't get an infusion of money by increasing taxes, we have no choice. The legislature has already set the law that requires the furloughs or the layoffs, or if, in the absence of cash to be able to certify funds, the inability to make payroll. And people need to have certainty in their life.
Reporting for Guamsi's Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
All right, Carm, thanks so much. Now, not long after a public hearing on a pair of measures to implement a 2% sales tax, senators, if you can believe it, were called back into special session. This was the 8th one, where they went over Bill 248. That debate continued on how to handle the looming financial crisis, yet there are concerns over the timelines to have the sales tax take effect if indeed passed. Reverend Tax's John Camacho is before senators at the moment as they discuss this latest measure with the budget.
One of my proposals when I recommend to amend this bill is to take out that provision to give 30 days to work on the rules and regulation, because Article 1 gives the DRT the authority already to make rules and regulations. So we can, when this bill, if it does passes, we already have that authority under Article 1 to make rules and regulations to any taxes that are governed within Guam, so local taxes.
This 8th special session continues at this time with senators discussing the measure in the Committee of the Whole.
While faced with making drastic changes to its operations, the Guam Police Department spent the morning hosting its Coffee with the Cops series at the IHOP in Tamuning. It's an event that allows the community to interact with officers about all things public safety.
But can that department afford to spare its officers at a time when the government is cutting back? Our Nick Delgado went there to find out that very question.
It was breakfast with the men and women in blue. Coffee with a cop. These precinct commanders, the chief of police and other officers hosted their series event in Tamuning, a chance for people to get a one-on-one talk going with police. GPD spokesperson Sergeant Paul Tapau.
Have a cup of joe and get the feedback from the community about issues such as safety and security that they may have.
It's been more than 4 days since the department was forced to close the Hagåtña precinct and shift officers to help reduce overtime at DOC.
Chief J.R. Cruz took that proactive step, and he's sending us charging forward with our marching orders, and the guys have been really putting their best foot forward and adapting to the new assignments.
But with the drastic changes, can GPD afford to take these on-duty cops off the streets for several hours? Police Chief J.R. Cruz says yes, telling KUAM now is exactly the time to interact with the community about their safety. He says they must continue with their community initiatives and that stopping any efforts to be proactive would only put the community at risk.
We continue the mission, and the mission stays the same, that we got to provide safety and security for the community.
While uncertainty lingers for many, others like Leanne Bunn, the general manager at the Tamuning IHOP, is hopeful.
It's kind of scary in a little bit, but I'm sure that the government will work together and come to a solution that will not put our safety or the safety of our visitors at risk.
GPD leadership also saying there have been no negative impacts when it comes to their officers' response time since the changes were made.
We have the fair amount of officers that are still without the precinct that still provide that same morning and night coverage, 24-hour coverage throughout the island.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, Guahosi Nick Delgado.
Now, with the looming government financial crisis, our Chris Barnett gives you a closer look at some of the salaries in the different branches of your government, starting with Adelup and the executive branch.
Trim the fat. In addition to generating revenue through tax hikes, that's what the government of Guam says it'll have to do to keep its head above water. Where to cut, though? Well, nobody thought public safety would be on the chopping block first, but that's exactly what happened when police and fire chiefs, at the direction of the administration, closed 2 fire stations and the Hagåtña precinct. Many called it a political move to force senators to pass the governor's tax increase bill. GFD acting chief Joey San Nicolas jeopardizing lives by shutting down the Estumbo and PD fire stations to save $2.7 million in overtime. Ironically, that's about how much the administration pays its senior staff of 7 and 21 special assistants. Taxpayers footing the bill to the tune of $2.8 million for these unclassified political hires. The average compensation package for each of them in salary and benefits, $98,436 per year. And Adelup says they're worth every penny.
If you want people of a certain caliber to be able to provide this level of work, this amount of work, they should be compensated, appropriately. That's how the private sector does it. That's how the federal government does it.
It's debatable that these special assistants would be able to command such high salaries in the private sector, though. Take Margaret Metcalf, for example. She lost her bid to become Guam's congresswoman, but she's still winning in Washington, D.C. as Adelup's D.C. liaison, and she costs the people of Guam over $100,000 a year.
You talk about Margaret. One of the things that we need to make sure of is that we always have a face in Washington, D.C. It's hard because we have a congresswoman who doesn't have a vote. She does work very closely, with the congresswoman's office as well.
I spoke with a source at Congresswoman Madeline Berdalio's office, and they said Metcalf is, quote, nowhere to be found in D.C. and hasn't reached out to the congresswoman for help. Metcalf isn't the only person at Adelup breaking 6 figures a year. The $100,000 club, salary and benefits, the people of Guam pay for it all. It's a far cry from when the administration took office in 2011. Salaries and staff much lower. In 8 years, the number of special assistants alone has doubled. And Adelup has proved to be a great place to work for some. Deputy Chief of Staff Rose Ramsey started at $79,000 a year in 2011. Now she's balling out at $104,000 a year in salary alone. Back in 2011, Governor Calvo didn't need a legal opinion from the AG or a bill to cut his senior staff's pay, which he did, saying the savings would go towards paying tax refunds. Fast forward to 2018, Anita Ricles says although fire and police stations were closed, salary cuts to political hires still being discussed.
Definitely that's on the table. We've never shied away from the fact that we're going to have to do it if we have to. We should compensate people for the work that they're expected, for the work and the responsibility that they're expected to carry out.
So not necessarily on their qualifications or experience?
That should absolutely come into play.
But is that absolutely what's happening? I'll let you decide. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
All right, and everybody, and if you so desire, you can view the staffing patterns for both the executive and the legislative branch on our website. Chris has a report coming up on the legislative branch, and you might want to pick your jaw up off the floor.
Stay tuned. We're back with more news after the break.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming of KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
Now you can choose your favorite Nissan rides and 30 flyaways on Philippine Airlines when you play Micronesia Mall's Your Best Choice giveaway. To play, present mall receipts to win a new Versa Note SR, the Crossover Rogue Sport SV, the Heritage Edition 370Z, or you can choose a tough Nissan truck. Plus, there are great instant prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker. Win more cars, trips, and prizes when you play Micronesia Mall's Your Best Choice giveaway.
This is pollock, and this is pollock, but they're totally different. One is pollock South Dakota, and the other is real wild-caught Alaska pollock from a certified sustainable fishery. And that's the pollock you'll find in the McDonald's Filet of Fish. So, no matter where you are, you can always get real fish caught sustainably from here. So let's review. This is that one place called pollock, this is real wild-caught Alaska pollock, and this is who can bring it all together, sourced from a sustainable fishery. And it's delicious.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
The discussion on the military buildup carries on during Day 2 of the 2018 Guam Industry Forum.
The hot topic is the island's workforce, as Keani Mendiola explains in this next report.
With the impending marine relocation to Guam, hundreds of local and international businesses gather to learn how they can partake in this $8.7 billion project, an opportunity that not only companies can take advantage of, but our island as well, which is why discussing Guam's workforce, education, and available resources was imperative at today's forum. Guam Department of Labor Director Dr. Sam Mabini.
It'll be important to all the participants. These are business people who are either on island or new to the island who want to take advantage of the great opportunity regarding the military buildup. And many of them may not be quite familiar with the realities of where workforce stands on Guam and the recruiting methods and some of the resources that we have available to them.
And it's especially important to Guam's local workforce and economy.
We want to grow our economy. There's some misconceptions of maybe what jobs are available. Typically when they hear of construction, they think of the typical work like carpentry, masonry, whatnot, but there's loads of other jobs as well, some that are not as evident. And what we want our businesses to do, and which is what I'll be appealing, is to have them be more engaged with, like, the Department of Labor, our schools, our colleges, our technical institutes, help them understand what are the jobs that are available, what are the skills that are needed, and so that we can work together to prepare.
And the DOL and schools such as the Guam Community College, University of Guam, and GCA Trades Academy are willing to provide the necessary resources to prepare individuals. GCC President Dr. Mary Okada.
There's an opportunity and an innovation that GCC has decided to move forward with particularly addressing the needs of industry. So in other words, we thought about it and says, okay, we can provide these opportunities, but what is everybody looking for?
An idea that will require the cooperation and cohesion with participating businesses.
We're going to be hoping that individuals would contact us so that they can provide what their needs are, because we're hoping to roll out a construction boot camp.
These speakers are hoping to appeal to attendees to create a beneficial partnership for both their company and the people of Guam, and as soon as possible.
We have about a 10-year span, but immediately we have dire needs. And we have ways to start moving people into fields where they can move from minimum wage to a lot higher wages to help improve their cost of living.
As the forum comes to a close, we will just have to see what will happen in the near future. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Kiani Mendiola.
Kiani, thanks so much. In other news, the administration is making a push for more foreign workers as Governor Calvo today signed a request for a second batch of H-2B staffers. That request will make its way to the federal government for approval, with our chief executive saying this is an effort to help move important construction projects forward. He is hoping to gain the support from President Trump and the DOD leadership.
A 46-year-old man is under arrest accused of using a stick to sexually molest a 4-year-old girl known to him. Edward Koke Matsunonga is charged with first-degree criminal sexual conduct and family violence. The complaint was made to police after the child reported that the suspect put a stick in her genital area, causing it to bleed. She was treated at GRMC for her injuries. The suspect denied the allegations, telling investigators that his family was only trying to get him in trouble.
Also, an 8-year-old girl initially kept the alleged sexual abuse a secret out of fear that she would get in trouble, and now 2 people are under arrest. James Figur is charged with second-degree criminal sexual conduct, with Falapin Laura Rogan charged with child abuse. Court documents state the incident happened last September when the suspect allegedly put his hands inside the child's pants and rubbed her genitals. But when she told a woman about what happened, that suspect allegedly told her not to tell anyone and to keep the matter a secret. The victim eventually told someone else what happened, with Rogan telling police Figur was drunk that night and, quote, may have accidentally touched the victim. In other news, an apparent scare for one woman after she woke up to someone torching a political sign in her yard. Images have been circulated on social media of this Tenorio Attic political sign showing the damage, with campaign officials saying the victim saw a blue car and a vandal trespassing onto her yard earlier this week. She screamed and apparently scared the perpetrators off, and the matter was reported to police. But authorities say this is not the first time this has happened.
The District Court of Guam held their annual district conference. Guests included the Honorable Margaret McKeon, who sits on the U.S. Court of Appeals, and David S. Addington, Senior Vice President, General Counsel, and Chief Legal Officer at the National Federation of Independent Business. The conference presentations included the new tax law, ethics, and even immigration law.
Positive news about a local lawyer with a commitment to serve as attorney Rodney Jacob. The representative for the District Court of Guam received the distinction of the 2018 Cristobal Duenas Excellent Award. Jacob was chosen for his years of public service to enhance open communication between lawyers and judges alike.
Very humbled by it, to have received an award in the name of Chief Judge Cristobal Duenas, who was a man of deep faith, a man of purpose, and a man who deeply believed in the rule of law, to me is overwhelming.
He was also instrumental in bringing notable speakers to Guam like Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Jacob celebrated his award in the presence of his family, and we wish our friend Rod very well-deserved congratulations.
Sports and weather's next, and later KUAM's Crystal Paco continues her series featuring Guam's rising stars.
Binging movies in bed shouldn't make you want to hide under the covers when the bill arrives. That's why all of GTA's home internet plans are unlimited. We believe that you deserve better than home internet with hidden data fees, because you should be able to cuddle without worrying about bill trouble. So the choice is yours. Bill shock with the other guys, or a life unlimited with GTA. Say goodbye to hidden data fees and make the switch today to GTA. Your island, your network.
GU Self-Storage, Guam's newest and largest storage facility with the island's largest variety of storage unit sizes to meet customer demands. Our facility applies the most advanced access and security surveillance system, including the state-of-the-art Easy Code phone app. Keep what's important to you safe and secure with fully covered loading and unloading area in a fully climate-controlled facility. We offer professional packing, pickup, and delivery of your storage items and complimentary use of hand truck, appliance dollies, and pallet jacks, and offer ADA accessible units. For our customer convenience, we offer access to our on-site business center, conference room, and mail hub services. Call our friendly and professional management team at 648-7867 to learn more about our flexible month-to-month lease options with best rates starting as low as $50. GU Self-Storage, located next to McDonald's in Harmon, the old GPA building.
To me, Blue Moon pairs really well with Guam because Blue Moon is a beer that's exotically spiced. It's very unique and different than anything else out there in the marketplace. We always want to make sure that they're food friendly. You can pair them up with dishes, practically anything. Ingredients are the malts, the hops, the spices. And we put them together on that canvas, and the finished work of art is our bottle of Blue Moon beer.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports, brought to you by Triple J. Now, the Guam Men's College Basketball League title game is up for grabs this Saturday as the UOG men's varsity team takes on the Trident's club team for the title. Check it out. Guam Men's College Basketball League semifinals, GCC, and the UOG Recreation Department Trident Men's Basketball Club playing for a chance to meet the undefeated UOG varsity team in the championship game. NBC's Jude Martinez with the assist to Corey Abraham. Pull-up three drops in for the home squad. Christian Agaran with the answer back the other way for GCC. Agaran all alone making the defense pay for playing zone. NBC led 30-27 at the half and went on to take the game 75-64. Elias David led the Tritons with 27 points, while Ethan Allegre scored 21 for GCC. The Tridents finished the regular season 6-3, with two of those losses to the UOG Tritons. GCC finished 4-5. The Guam Men's College Basketball Championship game will be played on Saturday at 4 in the afternoon at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. The Trident Women's Basketball League Championship game will be played at 2 in the afternoon. Admission is free, so make sure to come out and support all of the teams. The 2018 We Run This 2K and 5K Fun Run Walk going down this Saturday at the Chamorro Village. Registration forms are available at the Talent Box Studio in Mangilao, Custom Fitness in Anigua, Hornet Sports in Tamuning, and Java Hut in Tamuning. 5:30 a.m. showtime, 6 a.m. go time. You can pre-register at a cost of $7 for students, $10 for adults, and $35 for a group of 4. On race day, fees go up to $12 per runner. For more info, call the Talent Box Studio at 475-8269. Battle Showcase Shell V-Power Drag Race Battle hitting the drag strip at the Guam International Raceway on Sunday. Admission is $5. Gates open at 2 in the afternoon, with racing scheduled to start at 3:30 and run till about 6. Winners will be crowned in the 1,000cc Sport Bike Division. Cars and Trucks, winners will be crowned in the 13-second Division, 14-second Division, and 11-second Division. The Filipino Sports Association of Guam, also known as FSAG, will be tipping off their 17th season on April 8th at the FD Phoenix Center. Last season, the league brought PBA legends and actors from the Philippines to Guam for an exhibition game played at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. League games will follow the week after at the Estumbo Gym. Registration deadline is March 23rd. The league is still accepting teams in the junior division for players 18 to 38, senior division 38 to 44, masters for players 45 to 49, Manumku 50 to 54, and Super Manumku for players 55 and up. All player uniforms are free. For more information on the league, call 998-5179. That's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
Has been an important part of our everyday lives. Bringing in the cars we drive, the food we eat, and the materials that helped build our homes. From caring for our land through the Adaki Itano program to generously supporting our local charities, Matson has contributed to the preservation and growth of our island. On behalf of those you've served throughout your 20 years on Guam, Sidus Ma'asi, Matson.
Guam is more than a tiny island in the Pacific. This magical place is where I call home. This island inspires me to learn and explore what's around me. It teaches me that there are no shortcuts in life and that the long way home may just be the scenic route. And that even the dirt roads can lead you to beautiful destinations.
Welcome back. We're another day closer to the season premiere of Rise on NBC. Yes. From the producers of Hamilton and Friday Night Lights, Rise is a heartening new musical drama inspired by a true story about finding inspiration in unexpected places.
And we love musicals here, and we love music. And to promote the upcoming series, we sat down with the public school performing arts teachers, the talents, and the trailblazers right here on the island. And tonight, which also happens to be in celebration of International Women's Day, we caught up with Guam's only girl band shaking up the local music scene. Fellow musician Crystal Paco reports.
Forget Josie and the Pussycats, meet the Dolls. Rachel Esteves on vocals and guitar, Sabrina Borja on saxophone, Megan Volstead on trumpet, Susanna Wustig on bass guitar, and Regina Oliva, the tiniest of them all, rocking out on the drums. This is their typical Friday night. gigging at Castaways in Tumon to a packed bar, performing top 40 favorites as well as dozens of their own originals.
We're very underestimated, and I feel, well, maybe with our fellow musicians, they know like where we are, our caliber, but maybe for a general public, they see like a group of girls and they're just like, oh, that's cute, like, you know, and then we rock out and we blow their socks off.
These girls are all accomplished musicians and even prouder products of their respective band programs at the Department of Education.
I think that like fine arts in general in the public school systems, they need more support. And yes, it's been improving in the last couple of years, but I think like even since when I was started in middle school, it was not in the great like position. And I was lucky enough to go to a public school that had a music program. Yeah, and instruments and someone who was competent at teaching.
Not only are these fierce females taking center stage, they're taking over the classroom. Because where else would the dolls hang out? Playhouse Studios offers affordable private lessons so music lovers of all ages can increase their music literacy.
Playhouse Studios was important because when I was young, I wanted to have music lessons, but they were really, really expensive. So I was like, I wanted to kind of create a music school that would be like what I wanted, and it would be like easily affordable, easily accessible.
Echoing her sentiments, soon-to-be band teacher Sabrina.
I want them to be independent musicians, people who can read music, make music, have fun, you know, and then pass that joy on to others. I think it's the best job in the world, and I think there need to be more music teachers.
And shout-outs to all their music teachers, past and present.
We're so interlocked with the music scene now, and I feel like all the people who had brought us up, like Max and like John Bermudez, what they taught us was right about, you know, being a musician in the scene. And I think like they really did a good job with trying to at least cultivate some kind of like kind of like planting the seeds, you know, and like watching the seeds and trying to like make sure, you know, they're going in the right direction.
And no room for divas on this stage. These girls have nothing but love for their fellow performing artists.
Even with us here at Castaways, sometimes we'll leave the bar and then we'll go hop on over to Porky's or you know, check out the other bands play. I feel like it's kind of like our job too. I mean, and I'm proud to say that because I love doing it.
Everyone like in this community, you know, we all know each other, we all usually support each other.
But why should you support local artists like the Dolls?
Can you imagine a world without music, movies without music, just dancing without music? I think it ties into everything, and so if we have to support that as teachers.
The season premiere for Rise airs Wednesday, March 14th at 9 p.m. on KUAM TV8 and again at 8 p.m. every Wednesday after that.
All right, and before we put this newscast in the history books, we got some birthdays to do, so here are the newest members of the Cold Stone Creamery, a birthday club. Happiest of birthday wishes going out to the newest members of the club, led out by Yuri and Ugun Manlapaz. Happy birthday wishes also to Carlson Nicholas, and fourth birthday wishes to Roscoe Mark. This comes from Mommy, Daddy Jojo, and your family. Happy birthday to Landon Rosalind, and happy birthday to Damian James from your Guam and Texas families. Happy birthday to Nick Bell from the Triple B family, and happy birthday wishes to Melinda San Luis. And last but certainly not least, happy belated birthday wishes to Cheyenne Avila Borja. Happy 6th birthday, little lady. We love you, says your family.
And you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Just head on over to our website.
In the Mix is coming up with this lovely lady. What have you got on the show tonight?
We are featuring some choreographers that visited Guam from California.
And I got to make pizza. I'm on our show.
Our big kid.
And I got to make pizza with the KUM kids. So stay tuned. It is awesome. That's coming up next. Pizza.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. In the Mix is presented by California Pizza Kitchen. Visit them today at the Holiday Resort Hotel.
Hafa day, everybody. I'm Sabrina Salas Matanani. Welcome to another episode of In the Mix. Guam recently had some world-renowned choreographers visiting, teaching hip-hop to the island's talented dancers. And then there was me. We first head to Tietzen.
Millions of people across the globe have been witness to the talents of Guam's Skip Entertainment Company, featured on social media pages of artists like Cardi B, Bruno Mars, and most recently, Steve Aoki.
There are people all over the world. When I travel, they ask me about that studio, the black and white checkered studio. Do I know those people that have that studio?
Terry Knapp is the owner and founder of Skip. It first opened its doors in Agana Heights more than 30 years ago, initially as a singing and dance group, to what it is today, a dance company offering classes in almost all genres of dance. Skip has grown so big over the years, it's had to open a new location.
We opened a studio in East Agana, and that's where we do a lot of our beginning classes, our hip-hop classes, and so that we can offer company classes can be going on. We can have two things going on at once. And then we're actually going to be opening another studio upstairs in the East Agana. So it's just to be able to add more classes. We're really getting into fitness for kids, too. So that's what we're all about. That's what we want to do.
Fueling their passion for dance, Skip travels off-island to compete in competitions all over the world. Most recently, Knapp invited Disney Mouseketeer Gabe de Guzman from California. According to Terry, she met Gabe 7 years ago touring with her other company in California called Urban Empire. She and Gabe's mother are close friends, and she invited him to come to Guam to teach.
It's a great example for the kids on Guam to see two things: what a fabulous dancer, being a young age, and to be so modest and so just a wonderful person.
Gabe started dancing when he was just 5 years old.
I have asthma, so I needed to find an indoor exercise that would not have me coming home sick every day, because I tried outdoor sports like softball and t-ball, and none of those really helped me. Well, I mean, they helped me with exercise, but I would come home sick every day from all the dirt. But my sister was a dancer as well already, so her and my parents convinced me to take my first dance class, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll try it. Then I tried it, and I was just like, this is what I was born to do.
Ain't that the truth? Gabe's performed on World of Dance, Nickelodeon, The Ellen Show, America's Got Talent, Dance Moms, Dance for Christina Aguilera, appeared on commercials for Walmart, Old Navy, Night at the Museum, Hot Wheels, Power Range, Microsoft, and he's even performed on this little show, you may have heard of it, the Super Bowl, with Katy Perry and Missy Elliott. All this, and he's only 17 years old. And he was 9 when he booked his first gig.
The first professional job I did was a Macy's tour that I did with Bruno Mars, CeeLo Green, and Far East Movement. So that was pretty crazy to me. I'm just like, I just stepped into this, this is so big for me. And yeah, I mean, from there, I've gone on to work on TV shows and commercials. It's just so amazing. I'm grateful for all the opportunities I've been given.
Recently on Guam, he taught several classes, including a beginner's hip-hop class in Tietzen, although it didn't really seem like it was for beginners. Yeah, I was done in the first 30 seconds.